Hello, welcome back to Karagor Studios, Remnant Lunar Archon, session 27. I'm getting the hang of it. I think we're doing good.
Is that the session title?
That's maybe we'll see. Um, Abby, is your internet back?
I'm using my hotspot, so
Do you have
hopefully I
unlimited data?
should be able to. Yeah, I can use my data.
Okay. At some point, you should update your fantasy. Not necessary tonight. You're currently running 3 versions behind me.
Oh, didn't know that. Sorry.
That's okay. It's not something to worry about too much. Thicket's running 1 version behind me.
Yeah, I saw the update button tonight and I ignored it.
It shouldn't crash anything. But yes, welcome back. Twitch. Nice to see you again. Looking good. Hope you're doing well. New shoes, all that. Looks nice. But yes, we're here to play a game. Starting a little bit late this evening, though not really that much later than we normally do recently, which is okay. We'll not have Ethan tonight as he's working on some location stuff. Still got a couple people in odd positions. Jocelyn still not having a computer. Hopefully we can get it fixed at some point in the future. Doodle-doo, and I guess I'll move us over to the game scene.
Yes. We are getting started. We heard the doodly-doo.
True, there was a doodly-doo. Let's see, previously on Remnant Lunar Archon, if my memory's correct, I think it's correct. Y'all finished up turning in the criminals from the the smuggling black market deal. Except for Yori, you'll let her go and didn't tell the cops about her. And the cops decided not to press the question. Y'all got the reward for bringing some of the people in, including an illusionist who was wanted for using enchantment magic on people in town. You went to Walter's. You bought the portable hole, which I believe is in Gambit's inventory. My memory is correct. It might not be.
I think it's in Thickets.
Yeah.
Is it in Thickets?
Thickets? I think it may be mine. Let me see.
Someone has a portable.
I remember saying it should be in someone who has high wisdom so it doesn't get stolen. Yeah, it's mine.
Portable. Like when someone has a bag of holding full of gold and then it gets pickpocketed. God, crap.
And I think the idea was turning it into like a bow tie for Thicket to wear.
Well, that's an amazing idea.
It was the like pouch on a stick thing. The like cartoon travelers.
Y'all got that. Gambit bought a parrying dagger of warning to give him a magical edge against monsters that would normally resist magic. I think that was pretty much all you got from Walter. Maverick bought something for a project. Y'all then went and found a body in heavy quotation marks for Claude so that he can walk around in a slightly disturbing, halfway to a horror film puppet.
We got him a marionette doll.
And I got him a marionette that he is
strapped him to the chest of it.
He is using his low levels of telekinesis to walk around. So currently, I believe he's sitting on Doug's backpack? I think. Either Doug's or Maverick's.
It's Mavericks.
Mavericks? Okay. That is where we ended off. It is currently Wednesday, the 22nd of March, year 417, post-schism, at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Party had previously talked about what kind of thing they might want to do next, whether or not they should stay in town, maybe look for the potential drug dealing going on in the drug ring they've heard about, whether or not they should look into other outstanding warrants for people in the town, see if there's any other adventuring to do nearby, or if they should potentially travel us somewhere. The party, thinking about when they travel, as at some point they're going to leave, ended up landing on a once they leave, whether or not it's going to be immediate or in a few days is up to them. Heck, if y'all wanted, you could say you take a month of downtime and just stay in Schist for a month. But effectively, they're making a very big loop around Vacuo, or at least the main part of Vacuo, going from Schist through a couple of towns up to Sheer, to Vane, and then back down toward Nace. Maybe drop by Keenite at some point, say hi to their friends. Maybe they'll hop up to Vacuo on their way up, but it looks like they're leaving most of the northern part of the country to its own, taking a circle around the center. Current plan. Of course, their adventures, that could change at any time. Yes, as you all take a step out, Claude lands on top of Maverick's bag. This is going to take some getting used to, I think. What would you like to do?
So, are we gonna try to bust some criminals before we leave?
I don't know.
That was the original plan that I had. That I think I was trying to rope Gambit into helping me turn in someone so that I could go get all the different things. But the idea is, so we would have the afternoon. So he said, come back, and then he'll give me the list of the wanted people, and then I would know for sure whether or not Gambit's on it, and then we go find someone who's not Gambit, obviously, and turn that person in.
It sounds like a plan to me.
Make a note of something. So yes, y'all continue. So is that what y'all are planning on doing? Heading back to see if the thing he said he was going to get for you is finished up.
Yep.
Editing that. Oakley dokley. As you head back to the guard station, arriving at the front, you see the same secretary that had been there before. A couple of guards actually standing and talking while seemingly eating some sorts of sandwiches. You're not sure what meat's on it, maybe something like rabbit, but it's hard to tell. Them just eating and talking. What he would like to do?
I was told to return later to get the outstanding warrants.
The secretary looks up. Yes, Adam said coming by. She looks for a couple of papers. Here you are. As she pulls out a couple of papers, you see effectively one for each warrant in more detail than the one I have here. And I will go ahead and throw this into your inventory. It is named the Schist Warrants Dossier. That should be in your inventory now. Go open and take a look at it. He specifically found the dossier for bounty hunters and adventurers. While we do pay townsfolk lower amounts of money for information leading to arrests of particular figures, for those that are more of a aggressive type to aid the guards, you can get quite a bit more coin by bringing in the individuals listed. Majority are wanted alive, though. She looks at a thing. The Alieth Tussock, a request for Reef, is actually dead or alive. So, however you find them, everyone else needs to be brought in alive if you're going to do so.
Why is this one in particular dead or alive?
That's the request we were given when it was sent out from Reef. I don't know what the details are for why they're wanted, but they seem to be at large, as it was sent to the majority of I assume the majority of major cities, since we're the first stop on the coast, effectively. That if anyone trying to escape Reef is likely here on the islands, I imagine that's why they sent it to us. But the request from Reef is for dead or alive, so we'd prefer alive, personally. But the bounty is from Reef, the way they do things.
I will share this with Gambit when we are out in the way, and Gambit can reveal if he is any of the people on the list, if he so chooses. But either way, at least he'll know.
All right, you
and then
outside, you show the group what the dossier says.
Well, I'm going to show in Gambit first, just because I don't want anyone to be like, particularly I don't want a certain kobold. If Eliath Tussock happens to be Gambit, then I don't want him to look at that. And
That's fair.
I'm going to guide them
towards gold enough to sell out a friend, but, you know.
But then there's 5,000 of
That's
it.
True.
So
it is a large amount of gold.
But I think I want to direct people to the Fairy troop, because that last thing's like I don't understand how the price is that low, but I don't even care about the price. So yeah.
Well, the price is fairly high for normal people.
That's fair, I guess.
Because gold, the economy of D&D makes no sense to me, or to most people. But yeah, that's what felt right. I'll go ahead and share that in the chat. It has printed for use by bounty hunters and adventurers. For an information value sheet, ask at the guard station. Silent Brittany, 140 gold. Wanted for minor and major theft. Gamba would be the first to look at. Kinar Leadcloak, 15 gold. Wanted for extortion and battery. Producer/smuggler of the new drug, Quill, 200 gold. Helberga, 5 gold. Wanted for battery. Timba Leafwalker, 25 gold. Wanted for sale of illegal substances. Alieth Tussock, 5,000 gold. Wanted for murder, espionage, and evading arrest. The Ferrywell Troop, 45 gold. Wanted for minor theft, public endangerment, and child exploitation. Gambit, how do you react as he shows you this once you walk outside? Can y'all hear me, or is it?
I can hear you.
Okay.
You're good. I don't know what's going on with
Teslin, you alive? Hello. Teslin. You've just been accused of murder, espionage, and evading arrest.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you
Hello.
Yay!
Can now.
I forgot what Gambit's not Gambit name is.
Yeah. So, I didn't murder anybody. but I definitely evaded arrest. And espionage? That's interesting.
The original question had something to do with your reaction to the paper that.
Yes. Is there anything Gambit will share, say, as Karan was kind of showing it to you to see if you're on the list?
Oh. I don't know these other people, but apparently I'm worth 5,000 gold.
That means that you know something that maybe you don't realize that you know.
Oh, I know what I know. I know what I know.
Oh.
I know that that they're basically slave traders and slave owners, because they accuse people of crimes that they didn't commit so that they can use them for labor.
Well, that is definitely something to address, and I think if we had some very powerful swords in our possession, or weapons, or whatever those magic things are. No, I think it's going to be useful. I forgot my accent for a moment. Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. I had a moment to try to get Doug's back. I'm honestly not even sure if I'm all the way there yet. Did I say Doug? I meant Claude.
Yes, you did.
I don't do Doug. Doug does Doug.
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 Doug does
Good streamer.
Doug well.
Well, I would like to handle this very well troop, and maybe in the process find out about the distributor maker of Quill. But anyone taking advantage of little ones has earned a special place in my heart. And he says this with like a sinister looking like hunger of like a predator in his mind. He's like, I want it, he wants to be a predator of predators.
Wait a second. So did you happen to ask where all of these are coming from? Because I haven't always been in Schiss. So how do we know that the Fairy Well troop or Temple Leafwalker are in here or in the city right now?
I suppose we don't. So it sounded as if, like, effectively, the people, like, the different arms of the law post around for various ill types. And so it's like a communal sort of situation. Is the way I understood it. Now I could have been misinterpreting. So my thought process is start here, see if we can resolve this quickly. But if not, then perhaps along the way. So it's not a guarantee.
I see. So we're going after the Fairy Well troop?
Yeah. I would like to see if any of the others would like to assist with this. And I can redact your name, so that others won't be tempted if you would like, or if you feel no need to do that, that's okay as well.
Doesn't really matter to me.
All right. Well, I am. I think the best thing then is to
dossier with everyone.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've got to go back to the inn. I think maybe one or two people also went elsewhere. I believe.
I believe everyone was together at this point.
Oh, is that correct? Oh, then that's my mistake, my misunderstanding. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
you're good. But you easily could have pulled Gambit aside and shown him the dossier before anyone else. Yeah, everyone's nearby at least.
So yeah, I'll see if everyone wants to help try to track down this troop of villains.
We get dragged into it.
Does anyone seem to have any objections? Abby's still muted. Doug, I'm not sure. I think he said he was driving, maybe. Thicket, maybe occupied. I don't know.
I'm good with anything, honestly. Like, I don't really have ideas for what we should do next.
Yeah, I'm just along for the ride.
Do y'all have any objections to going after the potential child exploitation?
No, stop that loser.
Child abducting, bad.
So Doug is good with it. He's also going to suggest, isn't like, how are we going to go about it? Should we dress Claude up as a child and pretend to smuggle him somewhere until we like find someone that could be of the same company?
That's just so. I mean, I suppose that could work. I mean, also, Thicket is rather small in stature. The two of them could be playmates running about, I suppose. As an option. But I think our best bet is to perhaps ask around the seedier areas if they've heard of them, because instead let's they're also wanted for theft, so perhaps we can see about hiring them for something, and then as part of the meet, maybe I complain about two kids playing outside and see how they react to make sure that it's actually them, and then maybe that would be our cue to sort of handle business.
Yeah. And let's keep in mind, the people who are the ones who are making these bounties are also criminals, you know? So let's keep an open mind.
I think some might be, but not.
Yeah,
not all of them.
I'm just.
I mean, certainly.
I
suppose we can go back to Rusty, see what her thoughts are.
Yeah, I don't think we need to go that far. I'm just saying we need to keep an open mind, and there might be more to the story.
Another thought is perhaps we could alternate some sleep schedules. So like Thicket and, well, I don't know if Claude sleeps, but
I don't.
Hello, Claude, do you sleep?
Hello. No, not at all.
Okay, great.
Not really. I guess I can kind of go into a dormant state. I did that for a couple hundred years before you lot wandered along, but typically I'm awake, like the stars.
So what we could potentially do is we could sleep, some of us like during the day, and then just dress Claude up in like some kind of kid's outfit and just leave him like on the side of a street somewhere, road, as if he's asleep with like a pillow, and then just kind of observe from a distance to see if anyone like picks him up. You know, just to kind of speed the process along in case we run into dead ends and someone's here.
Yeah.
I know that we were talking about leaving in the morning, but I suppose we could give it a shot this evening if we run into dead ends.
Hey, DM, is there a kids store close by? Maybe we can get a bonnet or like sort of, kids apparel.
Okay. Gotta chase where that question's going. You can in the market. There are various clothing stalls of all sizes, as well as the marionette shop you bought the marionette body from does have pre-made, basically costumes that you can put on the marionettes. Claude's marionette is currently wearing cloth knight's armor with a wooden spear. But you'd be able to find kids' clothes if you looked.
You know what? I think I have a better idea. Doug is just going to, at some point, take his white and blue robe that he no longer wears, and is just going to trim it a little bit so it's kind of more of like a nightgown, like a dress, kind of thing, just to put over Claude at some point.
All right, yeah, you can start doing that. You don't have proficiency in Weaver's tool by chance?
I don't think so, but I think in my inventory I have like some things.
Definitely have things, but it's to see the quality of the cut.
Well, I mean,
you have daggers and stuff you can cut with, but for how it looks, yeah.
Because I guess even if it's torn up, that kind of fits the profile of like no one's going to like think of the child being lost, so it doesn't have to be like a perfect cut. Maybe it's like old and dirty and ragged on purpose.
That's fair. All right. Make a dexterity check with disadvantage. I will go ahead and roll from your sheet. Disadvantage. Dexterity. That's a 7. It is ripped and raggedy. It is no longer in good condition.
Great.
Or silk kimono. As you all see Doug talking through this begin to tear at the cloth. And like if they come up to me, should I try? I mean, I'm not very good at doing voices. Not mine. I don't think I sound like a child. What should I do?
Can you make snoring sounds?
Not. I mean, kind of. I could try.
That's okay.
I could also just stay quiet, I guess.
Wait, Maverick said he could make a short message. Maybe he could make a short snoring message that sounds like a child. I could perform it, and it could make a copy what I'm doing, perhaps.
Yeah, I could do that. I can make a little trinket that can make a record a message. Whew.
That seems like it'd work.
Is that what you'd like him to do?
I mean, yeah, we can give it a shot. I mean, I still think that we should. I think we should probably still try to look into finding information about them directly.
Yeah, this was just more of a just in case, or if like night comes and we have no leads, this might speed things up a bit.
All right.
I'm gonna use a hero to do a performance on it.
All right. Spend a hero point. Also for, I suppose, Thicket. Yourself a hero point for the start of the session.
Right.
that's a nat 20. It is a perfect snoring noise that you can just tap.
Does that mean I get it right back?
You would get a hero point, yes. You would get a hero point back. With a total of 32, it is an absolutely authentic sounding. If y'all didn't know any better, you'd think Goron fell asleep for a second and made the noise.
And I'm a child.
And it sounds like it's a child.
You said a total of 32?
Yes. He
What?
used a hero point to give himself a +3 on top of his +9, and then he natural 20'd. Very, very high performance check on the snoring check.
So would this snoring just bring them out from like wherever they are, regardless of what they're doing? Like,
No. It's not magic, but if anyone checks and tries to see if if it sounds like a child, it'll sound like a child snoring 100%.
could we just
I love the thought process. They all just leave right now. They're all coming right to me.
could we just hold Claude like out the top of the mountain top? You know, hold him up with like 2 hands and just have them like siren call.
Well, the first part of that is you'd have to find a mountaintop, because just is in the more plain-like dunes of the desert. But no, it would not just not like you're whistling in a game and then the enemies are all like, "What was that?" Then start walking over. That's not quite how that works.
Throw a bottle in The Last of Us. What was that?
Must have been the wind.
You hear something?
So what are y'all doing?
We gotta go to Shady Tavern, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, and Gambit's gonna look out for Thieves' Cant. That might say anything about, like, child smuggling.
All right. Gambit, make a... So I will make for you a... investigation. Appropriate. To that roll. You keep an eye out. You do quite well, actually, keeping an eye out, seeing the different spots. Notations about... you do see several notations about safe houses as you walk over toward the worst side of town. I'd also like Thicket to make a general perception.
Perception.
But
What?
as you go, Gambit, you don't see anything mentioning children or anything. There's normal of like sewer entrance here, stuff like that around, but nothing in particular.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you can see, I rolled really well.
As you move through the more direct route, through the back roads, quote unquote, through the not moving through the Emerald Plaza, moving quickly down toward the docks and the wharf, over toward the inn that y'all been staying at, the Driftwood Grotto. Is that where you're heading in particular, or just in the area?
I mean, yeah, we probably should like head to the actual tavern because, like, get any kind of rumors or maybe that guy's there and we can tip him for the good news, for the good information.
Sure. All right. You, without any issues, do arrive. As you come up upon the Driftwood Grotto, walking up, you see a fairly tall figure. He looks over before he leans off from the wall, as you see the familiar face of Velander. Hey, wondered if y'all would come back here.
Here we are.
I forget who Velander is.
He is Doug's friend from the Orange Sun. I just wanted to say hi. Talk to Doug for a minute, if that's all right.
Hey,
Can we
what's up?
come with?
It's Orange Sun business, so you can stay nearby. You can still see him and everything, but the confidential information.
If you say so.
I do. Do you let him pull you aside, Doug? Walking off 10, 20 feet away?
Yeah, where are we again?
You are over near the Driftwood Grotto Tavern, in the more sketchy side of town.
Oh, sure.
Pulls you aside. So, y'all end up figuring out what you needed in that house?
Yep.
I mean, not really, but turns out, that goo can be used for a lot of different things, and we're just pinpointing what should go first.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. What?
Yeah, exactly. I don't really fully understand either. But what about you? I thought you were heading out of town.
Well, we're going to. I plan on leaving probably in the morning. Head back toward. Probably going to go up through Gosen, head back to Kikinia. We're supposed to check in with the boss. Speaking of which, that's one of the things I wanted to ask you about. Are you planning on heading back to Kikinia soon? Are you
Well,
going to get this group checked out and make sure it's all above board? I assume you're maintaining the exclusivity and to have.
well, I mean, yeah, but I think I'm sticking around here for a little while until this excursion is at least somewhat figured out.
So these messengers are just a temporary gig?
Supposedly.
Huh.
But who knows? You know how things are. You think your job's done, and then you wind up having to do like 10 more things before you can return.
Huh. Just remember not stay away too long. That's with outsiders. The rules.
Yeah.
Well, you still play cards?
Of course.
Good. Head on the shoulders and your hand close to your chest, alright?
I've got him right here.
He looks around. I'll be heading out then. He waves over to the rest of you. Appreciate the moment.
Yeah.
Hope to see y'all at some point.
Yeah, we'll reconvene.
Good. We will begin to walk off up toward the north side of town.
Doug, are you not allowed to hang out with us?
It's more of like I have Orange Sun obligations that I don't tend to fulfill as often as I obligatorily should.
What was the whole thing about not hanging out with outsiders?
Well, I mean, I am part of a mercenary group, so we tend to stick to ourselves generally and only work with people not in the group for business purposes. But yeah, we tend to not stray too far from the
Stray too far from the
group. Can you hear me?
I see.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm actually about to head inside, so it might be a little noisy here or there.
Okay.
So anyway,
Are you gonna get in trouble for hanging out with us?
it's nothing I can't handle.
Okay.
So where were we heading to again?
Group? Where you heading to?
Aren't we already at
What are you
the
doing?
destination?
Yeah, we're at the bar, right?
You are. You haven't gone inside, but
Um,
you are at the location.
all right, we're gonna go inside and look for information. At least Gambit is.
Ticket will follow.
As you all step inside, you see it's a fairly sparse tavern at the moment. There don't seem to be a lot of people here during the day. You do see there is a guy getting lunch, chilling by the fireplace with nothing burning inside of it. And you do also see seemingly playing some game of solitaire or some cards. The same I believe it was a dwarf. Yeah, the same dwarf that you spoke to the other day that gave you the information about where to find the deal that was being made.
Seeing as we turned in everyone to the authorities, I'm not sure if it's the best idea to tell him that we were the ones who followed up on it, you know? So let's avoid him.
That sounds very smart.
There is also, of course, the bartender, who seems fairly tired, is kind of leaning on his arm, but he's there.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Bless you. So, who are you going to talk to? What are you going to do next?
Hmm.
Well, we still need to get information, so
Yeah.
I mean, you said you do recognize the one that helped us previously.
Yeah. I guess we have no choice, but we need to keep it kind of on the down low that we were the ones who did it.
I did what? What did we do? I forgot.
That we crashed.
Crashed. Wait, it had been on the
Yeah.
boat.
No. We were the ones who crashed the exchange.
Oh, right, the deal. The black market deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Because they probably wouldn't take too kindly of us. Turning in people that was supposed to be a black market deal to the authorities. So
Honor among thieves type of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So all right. Gambit's gonna approach the guy.
You approach the table. glances up at you, looks back down at his solitaire game, continues playing.
Dang it, this guy is motivated by money. I forgot.
Is this your way of asking how much gold you have?
Basically, yeah.
You have 23 gold and 8 silver pieces.
Okay. I'm gonna put a silver piece in front of him.
He glances at it, draws another card from his deck, places it beneath the Queen of Hearts.
So, has there been any kidnapping of kids recently?
Looks up at you with a dark look. I think I get into stuff like that. You take me for a monster?
No. No. I'm just wondering if you've heard about it. Because you seem like you know what's going on in this place.
Maybe. He draws a red 4 and places it beneath a black 5. Was it worth for you to know?
Well, have you ever heard of the Very Well Troop? Gambit is going to place another silver.
Sounds like a name out of a storybook, he says as he draws an ace and places it to the side to start the pile up.
Yeah, seems pretty lame to me.
Make an insight check.
Okay. Who's...
Right, you're not here.
Yeah.
You rolled a total of 12, but after you said the Farewell Troop, there was you could see his mouth twisted before he put it back down like he was about to laugh, but then stifled it.
Interesting. Interesting.
Draws another card.
Well...
Well?
You
have something to ask.
Yeah.
Worth my time.
I guess it's your loss.
Alright.
And Gambit's gonna walk away.
Silver pieces into his hand. Playing.
That was not helpful. I was not helpful. I think... We don't know for certain that they are here in Chiss. Right?
Correct. I don't necessarily know.
So we need to
ask the guards or someone else, but you don't necessarily
know. Look guys, I think we need to go somewhere else. I think we need to see if these types of crimes have been going on around here recently in a way that seems connected. Because we don't know that this troop is here in Chiss. Are we after Timber? What was it?
Timba Leafwalker?
Yeah, Timba Leafwalker. Are we gonna try to go after her at all, or just the troop?
It probably wouldn't hurt to ask about most of them while we're here.
Okay. And what was what were they doing again? What types of crimes?
Timber was selling the drugs, and then we apparently there's also a maker of quill, another substance, or perhaps the same substance.
Okay.
So they could even be one and the same. But yeah. So the part of the drug issue that the town has.
Okay. So we're going after. Who are we going after again? We're going after. Well, Timba will be in the city if she's making the drugs, so we should go after them.
Well, yes. Again, so if you someone like Timber would be a small fish, and then use the small fish to get the bigger fish.
Okay.
So,
Are we buying fish?
Maybe next time. We don't really have a place to keep fish alive. I don't think they would take well to our hole. It would get all of our stuff wet.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. Let's go to the nearest town's guard.
You're heading back up to the guard station?
Mm-hmm.
They can make another general perception roll.
I got this.
Yeah, you do.
18.
Much better. What route are you taking? Are you heading back through the Emerald Plaza or the same way you came through the mountains? Which way is the party taking? More direct way or the more populous way? Yes, it would be the more direct way or the way with fewer people.
We can go the more direct way. It doesn't really matter to me.
Asking that question after having me do a perception check does not bode well.
Yeah.
Which way are you going?
I guess
Emerald
we're
Plaza
going
or
the
back roads?
the back roads.
The back roads?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You walk through. Nothing happens. You arrive back at the guard station. The secretary looks up. Yes. What can I do for you?
But before we get there, Gambit is gonna give Garand the questions that he needs to ask, like what types of crimes have been going on in the city, any leads that they might have on any of these people, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, the goal is we're probably leaving in the morning, so whatever it takes. Let's see if we can solve even one more problem before we depart, so that the messengers are leaving their mark.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All right, you head inside. Or I guess you're already inside. What are you asking the secretary?
If you allow it, a brain dump of whatever Gambit suggests.
Yeah. So like.
Okay, so go over your just ask questions and I'll answer.
Okay, so like last known location of like Temba Leafwalker.
Last time we heard about Miss Leafwalker, he was seen selling, well, I guess seen by those we brought in. Some teenagers were getting their fill with this new drug quill near the docks. One of them almost fell in and drowned. We managed to pull them out, figured out what was going on, and they mentioned Miss Leafwalker by name. So I believe it was somewhere around the docks was last seen. We've since marked you down who she was, as beforehand we didn't know who exactly was selling.
Is there any or who, other than buying and selling drugs, and does she seem to have any affiliations, or maybe any even enemies, known enemies?
Not particularly that I'm aware of. I mean, we know her in town. She's been seen before. She used to work in the center of town selling materials, working for, I believe it was a traveling chemist, called himself an alchemist. But according to her, she didn't have any skill at it, so she ended up staying here when he moved on. Then she's been doing odd jobs, helping people out on day jobs, but haven't seen her in a bit.
Okay.
Guess she got mixed up in something bigger than herself.
All right. So he's no longer in the city, this alchemist.
No, the alchemist was left quite a while ago. This was 6-7 years ago.
Where would one go to get alchemy materials in this city?
At current, that would either be searching in general for any herbalists that might be in the town, or in the general market, any alchemists, supplies they might find there. All sorts of things are sold around here, just what you can find. Of course, they could also visit Mariel at the Dream of Water. She could have different alchemical and herbal supplies, though nothing illegal.
Okay, so what do you know? Any components of the of quill? Like, what are some of the things that you need to make it?
As far as I'm aware, we actually don't have any idea how yet.
Okay, cool.
We've seen the effects. It seems to be some sort of a depressant, or at least a physical slight paralysis. It's a drug that's inject, so typically it also requires purchase of syringes, though it seems Leaf Walker and others have been buying those up to sell their product. But once injected, it very quickly brings you into a state of paralysis that people claim they see visions and dreams once they're under.
Cool.
Why it was concerning when the youngster fell into the water. He couldn't move.
I see. I see. All right. I think I got the information, unless anyone else has anything that they can think of to ask.
Any other questions about the warrants? Leaf Walker, smugglers, Silent Brittany, Very Well Troop. What are y'all looking for?
I mean, again, the Farewell Troop was Ron's primary concern. The second would have been the drug stuff.
All right. So what are you asking?
Okay.
I mean, if Gambit's done asking questions or suggesting what Garan should ask, then Garan would have his own. But I just didn't want to neglect whatever Gambit's thoughts.
Okay.
Gambit's thoughts were.
Like
yeah. So Gambit would ask, if we're talking about the Farewell Weather Troop, he would try to narrow down to see if that they could even possibly be in Chiss. So by asking are there people reporting their children going missing? And if there is, do those incidences seem like they have something in common? Like the kid was there and then suddenly they weren't, or if they were talking to someone and then the kid was like, "Oh, hi," and then they're gone. You know what I mean? Is there a common theme?
While Garand is, assuming y'all are both there, is Garand going to add anything to the question?
So okay. Effectively, do they have any recent reports of missing kids, or anything even suspect, like a kid like not showing up for school lessons or something, like just even with like the most minor reports that they thought like, oh well, it seemed like it was settled or whatever.
Her eyes widen as you're asking, and she shakes her hands in front of her. No, nothing like that. It's the performance troupe in town. It's the street performers.
Oh,
You might have seen them at some point. They're messing with fire and things. There are a couple of adults and 4 or 5 kids. We weren't sure at first what it was. We thought maybe they were just travelers, but, well, caught one of the kids stealing from the audience. The rest got away, but children shouldn't be dragged around the continent to commit petty thievery. That's why I'm trying to find them. It's not kidnapping or anything that dark. It's
okay. So where were they last seen?
over near the Emerald Plaza. Last I heard, they were performing earlier today. We've had the guards try to get them, but every time we get close, they seem to disappear into the crowd.
All right, got it.
All right, and with the shocking revelation that it is not, in fact, child kidnapping, we are going to take our 10-minute break there. I think. Quick water break before we return.
It makes their bounty much more reasonable.
Yeah. That was my thought. Was like, as soon
25
as y'all were
gold.
like, yeah, they were like, oh, they're kidnapping children. I was sitting here like, no. Child exploitation is a very broad category.
Doug, since the Battle of the Bands going on,
You want Duran to outperform them?
yeah, I think we should form a troupe, do like a headless horseman, like, story and like retelling, and then like observe like what happens to their crowd.
Yeah, I don't currently plan to lean into child kidnapping this campaign. We'll see where that goes, though. Maybe one day. No, I think.
Hey, that's fair.
I mean,
I know that sometimes like people don't always go into it with like the session 0 stuff, and
yeah,
I mean I've done like stuff to really like hammer home like you want to end this person or you want to end this situation or whatever, because it's like pivotal for either one or more characters' character growth, or it's important for the plot, or it's some other thing that I'm trying to do to give them, and you really want to try to like hook them in, because sometimes people just aren't interested. Like it goes away from being like railroady to where it's like you're basically effectively guiding them into it. But anyway, that's
fair.
all.
I try to avoid being railroading, but it is true that putting children in the mix always gets attention. That's actually part of the reason why I try not to bring them in too often, is it feels like a cheap way to draw people in. Is just and there's a child that's gonna die, and the child is enslaved. Like that's always I feel like there are better ways to do this without necessarily bringing children into the mix.
Totally fair. I respect it.
It's just something that I find occasionally good, but often it feels a little bit lazy in writing when it's just, and kids are in danger. Like, of course kids are in.
Sometimes NPCs are literally just plot devices, and sometimes those plot devices are overdone.
Yes. Correct. Plus the fact that children don't tend to be driving forces in most stories, especially if they're lower than the age of 12, unless the story is explicitly about the children. Because kids have a much smaller range of capability than. Who knows? Well, now that I've said that, I've got to throw child endangerment somewhere in the campaign. We'll see where that happens.
I mean, you did throw, like, people becoming, like, jackal wares into the mix.
I did not. Y'all assumed that people could become jackal-wares. I just threw the fact that jackal-wares exist.
Or
technically, they're jackals becoming jackal-wares, not even full people before.
Or kidnapping girl.
That's true. They were kidnapping people. I did start off with kidnapping. But at least it's not a crutch. Back.
Echo, say hi. Good girl.
Hi, Echo.
Meow. Meow.
So one of my favorite things about the Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy whatever game, it is phenomenal how many cats are about, and you just can go up to them, press square, and then not only will you hear it from the TV, but the controller vibrates like a purring, and it sounds like a purring. So if you keep the controller near you, it's like a cat's there. So.
How many of them are Professor McGonagall?
Not much, but there is a Weasley ancestor as one of the professors.
Nice. Was she the herbologist professor?
No, she's basically the McGonagall. She's basically the McGonagall in the game. The herbology professor, she's probably like my favorite teacher.
From what I've heard, she's a lot of people's favorite teacher.
Yeah, she's just, I don't know, she passes the vibe check, I guess. But like, there's so much cool stuff in that game. But anyway, I was just gonna say my character name is like my OP character that I used to cosplay as like forever ago. Got like 20 years ago now. Wow. Anyway, and it's a Apollo Lovegood, and so effectively a lineage of the Lovegood family. Apollo being the opposite of Luna. And yeah.
Very
anyway.
cool. I love when games have the like little Easter eggs or whatever of like controller integrations. Like I know I haven't played it personally, but I've watched other people play The Last of Us, and I think it's The Last of Us 2, where like there's certain parts where you have like a flashlight and sometimes it flickers out and you have to like hit the controller to get it to come back on or like jostle it.
Oh, that feels like it's gonna break a control.
Like just tap it a bit and be like,
come
back on.
Hey, come on.
Flashlight. There are zombies.
What do they call them in Last of Us?
No. Well, I mean, technically
no one ever calls them zombies.
They are technically zombies, but no one actually calls them zombies. It's not like with The Walking Dead where they have like some other name. It's just that every zombie has like different levels of severity in infection, and so they have different names for them in regards to like how long they've been turned. So like the regular zombies they call runners, and then there's also clickers, which are like have been zombies so long that like mushrooms have started growing over their eyes and they can't see anymore, so they use echolocation. They have stalkers. They have, what's the big ones? There's big ones that like throw gas bombs at you or spore bombs. Let me see.
Growers. The yeeters.
Zombie types. I'm googling it. Runners, stalkers, clickers, bloaters. They're called bloaters. Those are the main ones. What are these other ones? Shamblers. Let me Google that.
I assume shamblers shamble.
Indeed they do.
Nice. Sounds about right.
I think they're different. Yes, these are the ones that
crawl?
one-shot you. Yeah.
I see. So it's game balance or why they're shamblers. Because they have to shamble, otherwise they'd be broken if they shot you in runners.
Mm-hmm. They're really tanky, and if you get close, they one-shot you. So they're the ones that are like, you have to use ranged attack. Dodge and weave.
Yes, the old force the play style of play.
Bloaters and shamblers both can one-shot you. If you get up close to them. And then clickers are like a little bit more tanky than runners. Clickers are ones that are like, you can technically kill them with melee, but you probably shouldn't.
But you'll die first.
Because if you run out of shivs, then you have just your fists. And your fists are not very good weapons against clickers.
My fists are not very good weapons, period.
I prefer a good old basic attack.
With runners, you can use bullets on them if you want, or you could just like save your bullets and just beat them up. It really just depends on how many there are.
Like early game Breath of the Wild, when you throw bombs at enemies because you don't want to waste your weapons on stupid bokoblins. Only a couple of boom will work.
I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like any zombie should be a one shot, because once you get infected or injured, it should be game over, right?
Yes. Based.
Depending on the lore, yeah.
Is someone tapping?
It's kind
I was playing the knife game with my fingers, but
Oh.
without a knife. I was using a pen. I don't condone stabbing yourself for any reason.
Good. I don't like doing that very much, personally.
I'm glad games have kind of gotten better in terms of difficulty because I remember like the old like Ghost Recon games to where I mean I guess it's realistic. You get shot once, then more than likely dead. But I always hated playing it because I could never get past it because you literally if you get shot once, game over, and there's no like
Mario.
yeah,
You're
and there's
constantly one hit.
no like spawning points or like check
Ooh,
like start the
that's
level.
the worst.
That's
It's-
one thing I really hated about playing games when I was little. Like before we had like memory cards or autosave, you had to just like play the game.
Not
through.
die.
You had to
That
pay.
old arcade style, you had to just get.
Yeah. Which, like, I've done that with a couple of games, but, like, majority of the games I've only played, like, a quarter or a half of it, you know?
Oh.
Although, some of my Sega games, if you got past a certain level, it would give you, like, a level code that you could write down, and then, like, when you're at the main menu screen, you could type it in, and it'll take you to that level.
It's nice.
Yeah, that was really handy.
Yeah, I remember they started to put
No.
the like Nintendo
No.
games.
Yeah. Hi, Echo. Yes, what's up? Oh my gosh.
Chris, you back?
Well,
Tristan, are you here? Cool.
I'm not gonna ask how if I'm here. I see how it is.
I already know you're here. Why would I ask when I could already hear you meowing at your cat?
Meow.
I'm here.
That's not Maury, it's Thicket.
Yeah.
It's Maury and Thicket. We've been separated into two bodies.
Only one of those bodies actually.
What?
What?
Only Mori actually exists. Thicket is technically a figment of all of our imaginations.
Or Thicket could be a nickname for my cat, Echo.
Sure. I don't
You
think
don't know.
It has been. I've never heard you call
You
Echo
don't
that.
know me?
Here, sorry, I was upstairs
Okay.
eating chocolate cookies that
Oh, that's a
my
good
wife
time.
and I made. I don't really bake, but I helped her, and
Oh.
Share
I'm a big
cookie.
cookie monster. So
Dude, Sam, it's effort to not eat cookies. Huh.
I almost had cookies delivered a few minutes ago because I wanted some so badly, and that was
Wow.
Abby.
I feel like delivery is a little unnecessary. That's a bit much.
Not delivery. It's
Oh, it's
DiGiorno.
Yeah, DiGiorno cookies. I
Ugh.
just really wanted some. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, since we've brought up both pizza and cookies at the same time, cookie cake. Is
Absolutely.
it not? It is inferior to regular cookies in every way, though.
Whoa!
Okay.
No.
It's superior, if anything.
Yeah.
Because
First
it's
of-
usually like
It's
softer.
Really big cookie.
I prefer to view it like the Percy Jackson movies and pretend it's its own thing.
Pretend they're not.
Mhm.
That's fair. That's probably the best way of looking at it. Now that we've inspired that discussion for comments one day, let's get back to the game.
I think it should be a cookie pie because it's a pizza, so it's not cake.
But it's not
Some
even
people
like
call it a
it's
cookie
just
pie.
it's just a giant soft cookie.
Yes, exactly. You and I are
Mhm.
not seeing eye to eye. I'm so confused. How do you
I
not know
like
giant?
He's like,
I
yes,
like-
and
Yeah, yes.
It's not the same, and I know the recipe's different. That's how it doesn't crisp too much on the bottom.
Mhm.
do you like crispy cookies?
I do.
That's disgusting.
Oh,
Weird.
I see.
Weird. Boo.
I'm an unbeliever.
Mhm.
Well, now that I've been shunned,
Mhm.
we return as you all hear and find out that the Very Well troupe is the performers that y'all saw just the other day.
Wow, we so stupid.
I don't remember seeing performers.
Yep, because
Mhm.
you specifically saw the children thieving, and you were like, "Hey guys, watch your stuff."
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Whoopsie daisy.
Mhm.
Gotta look out for number one.
Uh,
So I guess we're going to look for the troop.
you guess, or is that what you're doing?
And that's what we're doing.
Did the troop have like costumes or outfits?
Yes.
What were they?
The main, it appears to be two guys. Well, you don't remember, are two guys and one girl. One of the guys wearing a red, basically gi, and y'all saw him basically doing fire dancing. The other two, the woman appeared to be a musician. You remember her playing a flute. Oh, hello, cat. Wow, Echo,
Oh.
calming herself down. Echo is not happy that this woman knows how to play the flute.
Echo has so many
Mm.
things to say.
She is very upset that she is not cuddled in my arms right now.
And then the other guy you saw seemed to be doing some sort of magic trick. Is that actual magic? Less.
So they wear red.
One of the guys was wearing black. One of the guys was wearing a red and black gi, and then the girl was wearing a blue dress. Well, a blue skirt with a white top and this blue like military jacket. The children were all wearing
Mm.
Yeah.
So we gotta find them. Where did we see them last? And
Saw them in the Emerald Plaza.
Yeah, the lady said Emerald Plaza.
okay.
Heading off to the Emerald Plaza. Thicket, that perception check from earlier finally clicks in, and you do see across the way, off toward the eastern side of the plaza, you do see them actually performing right now. The fire dancer, has a double-sided staff, both ends lit on fire, that he is spinning around like a Hawaii luau type of performance.
Guys, I think that's them.
Do we have a plan of attack? Do we know exactly how we want to handle this? Because I just want to be clear, our thought process is that they send the kids out to pickpocket and steal while they're trying to entertain the crowds. And
Mhm.
Should we pretend we're hiring them for a birthday party?
Yeah, I would love to have a fire thrower at my birthday party.
Mm.
By the way, y'all missed my birthday.
Mm.
When was your birthday?
I will get you some milk, Cedar.
Oh, dang. You know me so well.
When was her birthday?
A year ago.
Before you knew her.
Her birthday is March 10th.
No,
What day is it in
Add that
game?
now.
no, it's not.
March 22nd.
Dang.
Yeah.
I'm
There you
adding
go,
Cedar's
everybody.
birthday. I've added Cedar's birthday to the calendar now.
A D&D character having a birthday? Unheard of.
Mhm.
I mean, that could be a fun, night, but...
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, if y'all come
So,
up with
that's what we want
birthdays
to go
for
with.
characters, I will add them to the calendar.
We want to effectively trap them in a situation. Oh, it's a birthday party, and then we spring the trap on them, maybe even with the guards, sort of, and then perhaps get the children to school.
Yes, education is important.
And how many days are in the RWBY world?
It's a standard calendar because I don't want to deal with trying to figure out what Ruby's calendar is.
So
So it's our calendar.
is this a leap year or no?
No. Also, I think you can access the calendar by going to the tool section in the top right. I think y'all can even, like, let me check, but I think y'all can add notes.
I'm not going to do this because it would be a lot of work, but Thicket would totally be the type of person who would be like having an anniversary for every single like minute significant event.
Oh, he's so good.
This was the first time I tried milk, and this was the first time I tried bread, and this was the first time I tried beef, and this...
This was the day I learned what a pint is.
This is the day that I caught that guy. Which one? I don't remember.
This is the day I
This
met
is the day we fought
Fizadel.
Sophie.
This is the first day I could speak.
But yes, who is walking up? A lot of you?
So wait, what's the plan?
Going guns
We're gonna
blazing.
hire them.
So
I believe we're gonna pretend to hire them for a birthday party.
So-
Mhm.
So we're waiting until after they get done to approach them?
Well, yeah, let
Yeah.
them finish their set, and then we'll say, we were hoping to celebrate our friend's birthday this evening, and we would love to have them perform for us and a few guests, if they would be so interested, and we will give them the address. And you know what? I think for posterity's sake, we choose the same address where we captured our last criminals.
The warehouse?
Right, yeah, so it's, we've rented out the warehouse to house the party, and in reality, we just want to... It's going to be a second home here in Schist, and we will continue to remove the corrupt element, one criminal at a time.
Ow. Echo, get down.
Did we just claim a lair or a what's the word?
Base?
Yeah.
It's up to y'all, I guess, what you call it.
I feel like it should be called the mailbox.
That's awesome.
Oh, because with the messengers.
Mm.
It took me a moment.
Or it could be the post office.
That also works. Posty for short.
No, wait, I know. We name it Post Haste.
Or we can call it envelope. So I guess that's the plan then. We'll just wait.
Mhm.
A few minutes pass by, as it does appear that the fire dancer was the last to perform. You don't see any guards nearby. It appears either they've dodged the patrols or the patrols have passed by already. You're unsure, but as they finish up, the small crowd of maybe 8-10 people that have come to watch, clap as they place a few coins into the small wooden basket, small wooden like half crate basket that's set on the front of their of the mats that they placed out as basically a stage. The three people, the woman and the two men, come up and bow as you see the woman getting a good look at them. You see the man in the red gi is actually a fairly skinny man, fairly small build, but you do see his muscles are fairly toned in where they are. He is an elf. The woman, as you take a closer look, does appear to have these two long, almost fox or bunny-like ears of this red fox-like color that have twinges of white on the end. And you see coming out from the back of her skirt is a long, very fluffy fox-like tail. And as you get a closer look at her face, you do see on her fairly tan skin there are these red markings, almost like tattoos that are move along underneath her eyes that go back toward the side of her cheeks and then down her neck. The man to the left does appear to be human, as he is wearing a black, almost suit-like, but with a dramatic white shirt and this blue trim on the edge of it, wearing a wide-brimmed hat. I'm trying to think, like almost like a shorter magician's hat of sorts, with a wider brim. As they all stand together and bow to the crowd before beginning to pack up their things, as you think it can quite easily see the children that have seemingly finished their work as they step off to the side or running. As the people begin to disperse, the children go back up to the three adults. The girl smiles and picks one of them up. What would you like to do? They seem to be getting their things together.
Excuse me.
Which one are you approaching?
Who's I'm approaching them in a general sense, and then like as I'm looking to all of them as I'm speaking. Who might be the leader of this troop? I'd like to speak with you if that's all right.
The man in the suit sort of outfit, the magician-style clothing, stands up and turns around. Hello, nice to meet you, as he holds his hand out. I'm Oscar Valentine. How may I serve you today? Tricks and treats?
Pleasure to meet you, Oscar. Sort of. We would like to see about possibly hiring your troop for a celebration tonight. We'd like to honor our friend, her birthday. It's sort of a last-minute type situation, but we thought surely there might be some entertainment, something that can razzle-dazzle us and a few guests, and we're curious if you were occupied this evening.
Oh, we don't have any plans at the moment. Can you make an insight check? I'm sorry, can you make a deception check? Yours definitely beats his roll. Smiles. Of course, we'll be happy to come by. How many people do you expect will be there?
It shouldn't be any more than about 20, but somehow sometimes things get around. So,
well, my darling Melissa, as he points over to the one with the fox ears, she happily takes requests. Would the whole thing work for, shall we say, 10, 12 gold?
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Certainly. If you perform well, there may be additional tips. Perhaps there'll be an additional gift, as you part. But yeah, that sounds perfectly fine. We are just
Wonderful.
because I personally have been burned before, so I will give you the address of the location and meet us there. How much time do you need to set up? So if you need any time, I don't know.
Well, to get all our practice in, 10 minutes is all we really need, though. If we can get in a few minutes before that, it would be wonderful. Also, as he leans down and picks up one of the boys, as you see, there are 4 children. There are 2 boys and 2 girls. He picks up one of the boys that you can see on the boy's arms and on the back of his neck are scales that seem to indicate he is some sort of faunus. Is it alright if we bring our charges as well? They won't cause too much of a fuss. But we can't really leave them with anyone here. It's strangers in a strange land, you know.
I wouldn't dream of it. Are they also performers?
Not yet. We're training them. This little one, as he taps on his nose, is getting quite good at card tricks. But they're not quite ready for the stage just yet. But don't worry, they won't cause any fuss.
Not a problem. That's fine. Would you like me to have a pallet made up that they could take a nap if it's too late? I don't want to, because it is an evening party.
That would actually be wonderful, if you don't mind.
No, it's not a problem at all. So the idea would be that you would start about 8:30. So perhaps you show up 8:15, 8:20. Would that be sufficient?
Absolutely wonderful. And what do you say
Okay.
your name was, sir?
Grand Evenstein.
Thank you for your patronage, Grant.
No, it's certainly a pleasure. Don't even bother showing up before 8. The place won't be ready until 8. So if you
of course.
early
Is
like
this
8:05,
rented
8:10,
venue?
fine. So
Is this a rented venue? Or
yeah,
a
we were able
home?
to. Yes, we were able to procure a warehouse for this evening. So
Oh, fancy. Must be expecting quite the crowd.
well,
Be about 20 people.
it's more like we wanted to not cause a disturbance to anyone who might be sleeping, so or getting ready for night. So yeah. Show up anytime after 8. Again, closer to 8:15 would be preferable. And be ready to hopefully go on by 8:30. And here you go. We look forward to meeting with you later.
Perfection.
Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Tips hat to you before returning to the others and talking to the 2 other adults.
And
the child still in his arms.
It may be very like I know. I'm definitely going over to Thicket and asking for a read on what he thought.
Thicket does vibe check.
Vibe check, Thicket. Perform the vibe check.
Is that insight?
Insight. Yes, insight is the vibe check.
17.
You can actually read him pretty well as you look. He did seem quite sincere for a lot of it. He seemed initially slightly suspicious with the venue and hiring them, but as Garand continued to talk, it seemed like he got more comfortable and trusting of what Garand was saying, so he seems to believe you all. But there was an initial hostility. Well, not hostility, but
maybe skepticism.
Awareness. Skepticism, that's a good word. But he seems to believe you, and he seems to be sincere, even in the way he was talking about the child. He seemed, and as he said, his charges and everything, he seems to be caring. He doesn't seem to have any malice in how you read him. With the vibe check, you also would note, as the talk was happening, you did see the faunus woman did have a skeptical look as she watched the conversation, but didn't say anything or interject.
All right.
Perhaps she was more aware. Who knows?
They are definitely not easy to trust. Like easy trusting peoples. but they seem to believe us, from what I can tell.
Doug, not exactly knowing exactly what a party is questioning, like, so how are we, like, what is this birthday party?
Doug, have you never been to a birthday party?
No.
Hey, Doug, don't take this the wrong way. I'm genuinely asking. Do you have friends?
I have buddies, but not, I mean, I guess we have a common purpose. So maybe, yes.
Okay, that explains why you've never been to a birthday party. Birthday parties can be a lot of fun. They can also be kind of awkward. And considering we're trying to figure out if these guys are nefarious or not, I would say this one might be awkward. But as long as there's milk, I don't really care.
You know, Thicket, how would you feel about we take a few moments, we go over there, you bring Claude, and you kind of entertain the children for a moment. I distract the adults, and we see if perhaps you might be able to ask a question or two of the kids that might lead you in the right direction to know whether or not this needs to happen. Because
I have two concerns.
it
First of all, you guys seem to be very scared of Claude. I don't know if he would be good for children. And
Yeah.
also, I'm not super good at talking to people. I'm a bit concerned I would blow our cover.
I know you're really good at asking me questions.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to hide anything from you.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Also, like, Claude does have this handy dandy, outfit that I've made, so it won't be too disturbing. He'll just look like a wooden net.
He'll just look like Pinocchio.
Exactly.
But Bob,
But wearing a
I
tattered
go
kimono
on
over
my
a
own.
cloth. He'll be Pinocchio wearing a tattered kimono over a cloth guard's
Japanese
outfit.
Pinocchio.
Well, I mean, I do have regular clothes that I can put on the marionette for now.
That was good.
Decent at talking to people. I could go with Thicket.
Yeah, I just need to figure out. I need to have the way to distract the adults with questions a while. Perhaps. Oh, you know what? I've got it. I will
I could do
see if they
wild
would like
shape.
musical accompaniment.
I could be a
You could turn
puppy.
into You could turn
Kids
into an
like
animal, and then they
dogs.
chase you. Yeah, they chase you, and then you turn back, and then you bring them back. And as you're bringing them back, you ask them, "So how good are you at taking the shinies?" And see, because if they're small and they're little, they don't know any better. They might just outright tell you. Beyond that, I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
you'd be able
but
to
if they are
read them like a
observant,
book.
then that would backfire very harshly.
I don't follow.
Like if
Um,
we ask them like flat out, are you good at taking things? And then they do know what's up. Then boom, covered, blown.
No, I might be able to spin it if it becomes an issue. So, if you want to see that happen, but my thought process is if you act like you're getting them in on something, like, oh, how good are you how good are you finding those shinies? Then maybe they will find a kindred spirit in you, let alone the fact that you can turn into a critter for them to play with. So, I'm counting on the kid side of them still being very childlike, but
Should we do like a treasure hunt?
I mean, I'm not very.
And be like, prove your skills.
I mean, I'm not very astute when it comes to, you know, psychology and everything, but I know that in the Orange Sun, when we were growing up or being raised, we were just given a problem and then told, how would I do it? Or, get to there. There was less questioning and more of just us surviving. So perhaps more of a direct route without it being confrontational.
that was sort of my aim. If Thicket were to pretend that they're best buddies, and Thicket wants to know if they're good at snagging shinies, so that he might also learn to be good at snagging shinies, or maybe he already is, and maybe they can swap secrets. Maybe they'd be more open to discussing things. Again, there seems to be at least a comfortability and a love between the adults and the children. But when that is used as a weapon against the children in order to get them to do wrong things, just because you want it done, that is problematic. So, because it could be that they are truly a family or what have you in some manner, and they're surviving the best way that they think they can with the skills that they believe that they have. But that doesn't mean that they should keep getting away with it. So maybe an alternative option of them starting a legitimate business might be in their best interest, so that they aren't risking the futures of the children that they seem to care for. I mean, we could get Rusty in on it. Rusty was willing to hear us out when it came to the gentleman who was put in a very difficult position. Perhaps she will be amenable to a similar outcome again.
Okay. I don't really know what our plan is.
What are you doing?
Still
Brought up
trying
lots
to
of ideas, but what are you choosing to do?
figure it out, I think.
Yeah, continue. As long as you need. In theory. I don't want us to still be having this conversation 5 sessions from now.
I do think that because they're like, I do think that they'll be like clever children. They seem like a clever bunch. And, like, I am worried that if we just go up and ask them, hey, how good are you at stealing things? They're going to be like, why are you asking? Are you trying to get me arrested?
So we already know that that's what they're doing. We don't have to prove that, correct? We just have to get them by themselves so we can interrogate. So why not just do the warehouse thing, have someone stay inside, someone like be posted outside for watch to make sure they don't come early, and then meanwhile the rest of us can make it look like we're, bringing stuff in, arranging things, and then when they show up, just lock them inside until they talk. And then we don't have to separate the kids from the parents because, like, they're all in on it. Just do it without all the shenanigans.
Yeah.
I think
So,
that's a pretty good idea.
like,
Yeah.
as far as decorations go, we can just move empty crates back and forth. And then when it gets closer to time, I can create an echo. Thicket could be like the horse. We could like put a like lighted pumpkin, and then just have it outside the door so it looks like it's decorated for some event. And then we just make sure that they don't show up early, or I mean, I'm assuming they kind of would scope out the area first. So we would just kind of keep watch. And then once they're all inside, we just lock all the doors and go from there.
I am fine with any outcome that gives them an opportunity to convince us, well, specifically convince Thicket, that they are on the up and up. And I'm also concerned about anything that would put those children in any further danger. So, if they truly are caring for them, then I would not want to see them separate. But they need to teach their children better, if what it seems is true.
And what seems to be true?
They have the little ones stealing while they're putting on a performance. Effectively, it's a shell game. Everyone, look here, look here, look here. All right, thank you so much for coming to the show. Oh, we appreciate your, 2 gold and 14 silver. And 37 copper, hooray! And when in reality, they've stolen wedding rings or necklaces or whatever else.
But like, if they're putting on a show, then why would they teach their kids any better?
No, it's like a warning, Doug. I'm saying that if they are doing these wrong things, but they do seem to care for their kids, and it seems obvious, and Thicket is convinced, because I trust Thicket's wisdom and judgment on this, then I would like to see an opportunity where they can make it right. Perhaps even knowing that they are wanted, like truly actually wanted for some reason, might cause them pause to stop what they're doing so that they don't put their children at risk.
I think that they know that they're wanted, though.
I see. The issue is if that's true, why have they not been brought in? I mean, if the guard station themselves knew where they were, why have they not just gone to get them?
Because every time they show up, they run away. So they probably have a lookout, looking out for the guard.
It sounds reasonable. So in that case, then, I mean, it comes down to the children, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe there's just not enough evidence to believe that they're stealing.
It could be that also, or perhaps it's just one of the kids is doing it on his own, and the parents don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of variables, and that's my point. Is that giving them an opportunity to explain themselves. I believe in Thicket's ability to decipher things, and putting them in that place where they know that, because maybe they don't know, maybe they don't have that lookout, maybe it just happens. Maybe it's just happened by sheer coincidence that they've always been able to not be there when that needs to happen, or who knows. But I feel like there's more to the story, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to be good. But I hope that I'm wrong, and I hope that you more hopefuls are correct.
So, could we easily find out whether or not the parents know or not by having, I don't know, they get turned into a bird or a fly or something, and just go back to them right now just to see if they start counting the money? Or counting.
If Thicket's willing to do that, I think that would be fantastic. Yeah, maybe like as a squirrel or a little mouse or something.
I can do that. Let me see. What? Okay. Do you think it would be better to be like a squirrel or a bird or something? I could be a rat.
What's local animals that we've seen here? Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of wharf
I could
rats
be
or
a
whatever because
camel.
getting leftover fish bits.
Wharf rats and birds are probably the most common animals I've seen.
I mean, horses, or are there horses here? Mules, donkeys?
Not very many. There are more mules and donkeys than there are horses.
I could be
But we'd
unidentified
rather him be
creature.
stealthy, right? Or him.
Well, so
Unidentified creature 17.
so
That's probably one of the custom ones I've added in, and I've chosen not to reveal what they are yet.
so Garan was the only person that they saw, correct?
It's
They saw
a
him
dinosaur-looking
walk from
thing.
the rest of you. He's the only one that they.
Oh, so they've already seen us.
What are you looking at?
It says on. I'm looking at NPCs. Challenge rating 1/4 type beast. It's at the top of the page. It says unidentified creature, and it's got a picture that looks like a little velociraptor. Yeah, that's what it is.
The velociraptor. Is written and just identified it for you. Yeah, it's a velociraptor. You can turn into. Beast, and
I
you've
could
seen
be
it.
a velociraptor.
Those are not common. They do exist in the desert. Y'all have seen them run past during your travels, but they're not the most common thing.
No, I think going for stealth is the best bet, and should hurry probably.
So what are you doing?
Catch what you said.
I think he said if you're going to wild shape, you should probably hurry.
Okay.
And be stealthy. Is my thoughts. Not a camel.
Okay. I will turn into a bird. The only bird at challenge rating 0 is a raven. But yeah, bird.
I don't think you can turn into anything that has a fly speed.
Oh shoot, I can't.
Level
I
7,
will
I
turn
think.
into rat.
Okay.
Rat.
You saw them heading south, but it has been a minute. Are you gonna try and find them?
Yes.
Make an investigation.
Let me put on my rat suit.
Rat suit.
Can you describe the
Investigation.
Yeah, since you're trying to figure out where they went.
Hero point.
Go for it. Number 2. What was the question, Doug?
I said, can you kind of describe the area around, just for like curiosity's sake, in case I.
Yeah, y'all are in a fairly open area in the center of town known as the Emerald Plaza. They are performing near the edge of it. The middle of the Emerald Plaza, there is a fairly large fountain, effectively. It's not really a fancy fountain. It's one tall spire that seems to have an emerald jewel set into the top. And at the base of the, like, it goes up similar to Washington Monument style, where it goes up on 4 sides before coming in on a small triangle on top. The tip of the triangle does seem to be an emerald that catches the light. But then, probably 1.5 feet down from this 8-foot tall statue, there's a hole on each side that is pouring down water into this fountain. Surrounding that fountain is easily 50 feet of area that is pretty consistently full of stands, and you see some people have like basically made permanent shop stands. Others have wheels on them, and as you've seen, people have actually been, as it reaches toward the 4 o'clock, beginning toward the evening, there are some shopkeepers that seem to have been stacking up, putting up shop, getting their stuff together, and heading to wherever they store things overnight. Maybe hoping to get a better spot for the next day. And you are near the edge where there are some more fancy shops. They were actually near a restaurant, a fairly simple-looking restaurant, in a proper building at the edge of the Emerald Plaza. They were performing 10-15 feet from the entrance to it, and around the Emerald Plaza, this large circular area, there are various shops, including Waltz and A Dream of Water.
And so they're currently like back facing us, like walking away.
Yes, they are heading south. They are near the edge of the Emerald Plaza, and they were disappearing into the crowd, and they are like it turned to try and follow them.
In that case, can I teleport, like cast the echo teleport on top of the spire? Since you said it's like 8 feet, right?
Yeah.
And then just kind of keep a bird's eye view on them for the moment.
I will note, you will definitely be noticed by the people that are still in the plaza.
Oh, so they haven't left.
No, there are still people here. There are still merchants trying to get the attention of those that are still in the market, as well as people that are just putting up their stuff. They're still not the Ferrywell troop. The Ferrywell troop is leaving, but there are other people around the market that would be able to see you.
Okay, so can I get like
Face them out
behind one of the market buildings and then just get on top of the roof? And
hey, you could try and get onto a roof on the edge of the plaza. That'd be a little less conspicuous than Batman standing on top of an 8-foot tall obelisk fountain. Yeah, with your 15 feet, you could easily teleport on top of one and try and follow along. I would like both of you to make stealth checks.
I'm going to use.
Thicket has advantage because small, and also they're not looking for a rat.
Wait, what? I get advantage?
Yes, because small rat. Small rat.
Wow.
Hey, at least you dropped the 3. Because apparently that was
Wow.
the first one, so yeah, good thing you dropped the 3.
I'm rolling great tonight.
Alright, as you both follow along, Doug stealthily moving atop the rooftops, leaving the other 4 behind, you two begin to follow them. Thicket, you step around. Someone tries to hit you with the broom as you sweep past. You definitely jump out of the way and keep going down, slipping along the edge of buildings, climbing up onto roofs and running alongside Doug temporarily before jumping down onto an awning and continuing the path as they lead you toward not all the way to the wharf, toward the southern half of the city. You find after a couple of minutes, they lead you to an area you hadn't seen before, off toward the southeast side of the city. You see different tents set up, different, effectively, yeah, just different tents, effectively, with some that are tall stakes that are easily 6 feet tall that have cloth draped across the top and the sides, creating a small, effectively, room. As you see them walk through, you do see them say, like, wave and say hello to some of these other people that, as you see them, are fairly poor, and some of them are fairly poor individuals. Others seem to be travelers, having moved around. You actually see one or two merchants that you'd spotted earlier with their movable stations and goods. They walk along. You find them ending their trip at this fairly pretty blue tent, same sort of 6-ish, 7 feet tall, stood up, maybe 10 feet wide. As you look in, sneak around the side, does seem to be split off into these two separate sides, one that has various smaller cots on it, and the other that has 3 cots, 2 of which are pushed fairly close, effectively next to each other, one set off to the side. As they move in, the elf looks over to Oscar and gives him a nod, walks inside with the 4 kids, as you hear the kids talking inside. You see Oscar let out a sigh, as he takes the honest woman, he takes her hand. Let's walk and talk, shall we? As they continue to move along, stepping away from the tent, leaving the elf in the chair. He nods and walks with them. As they get out of earshot of that tent, moving through, then hear her speak. I don't like it. There's something feels off about them all. That, and you saw that he came from a group of several people who seemed fairly well armed. Adventurers, maybe? Yes, I thought about that, but he seems quite sincere. He pointed to the satyr. It's definitely possible that it is just her birthday and just wants to have some entertainment. That, and he agreed to 12 gold, which is honestly more than I would have expected anyone other than an adventurer to. Yes, but what if it's a trap? Trap will try to get out like we always have. Don't leave the kids behind. We're only gonna get lucky so many times, Oscar. I know. And did you see the orange sun guy? Yes, I did, but even if he's orange sun, he's still a faunus. It's not like he's necessarily a orders above all else type. Which, Doug, you make a perception check to see how much of this you can hear as they walk along. Whereas Thicket can follow fairly close. Also, let me know if I'm getting too quiet.
I can hear good.
Just be careful. And hopefully it'll all go well. I've got an oddly good feeling about this meeting. If things go wrong, it's go. What to do. Make the plan. My brother back in Coral can take you in. Be alright. What about Carland? Do as he always does. Enjoy spending time with us. He's quite good at what he does, and he can hold himself in a fight if things get messy. Yes, but we're not going to leave him behind if he gets caught. No. So we have to wait. He gets caught. Wait until things die down. Don't know how well we'd be able to break him out. Came to that. Won't leave him behind. One of us two. Squeezes her hand. They both continue walking. He looks off to the side. Her fluffy tail almost trucking down, sweeping across the dirt very slowly. Her ears drooping a little bit. As they continue to walk for a few minutes before they return to the tent, she enters into the side with the children, and you hear laughter and talking behind the tent. You're going to stay and continue to watch them?
Yeah. Why not?
Alright, the next few minutes go by. Go ahead and move us forward an hour as the two of you are watching. And we'll ask what the rest of them all are doing before
Let me
we
check
end
how
the-
long I can stay in wild shape.
I believe it's 2 hours right now. I think it's
Yeah.
half your druid level.
Where does it say? I have the thing. Number of hours, half druid level, rounded down. I am 4, so 2 hours.
Cool. So you'll have another 30, 45 minutes left after this. In the meantime, while those two are following behind, what are Maverick, Garon, Cedar, and Gambit doing?
I mean, we might as well begin trying to set up the fake party. It only makes sense that, you know.
Are you buying anything for the fake party, or are you just going and waiting near the docks? What y'all doing?
Well, we are still in the market. Let's see if the market has anything that can work for, like, streamers and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it can't cost more than like a gold or two to try to do this, and I think that finding out if what's necessary to either get 45 gold, rescue some children, or keep a family together is worth a few silver and gold.
I'd say 5 silver you can mark off on your sheet. You can definitely find different party stuff. You even find a baker who, it's near the end of their day, but they do have sweets. Not a proper cake, but various cooking things if you want to get food as well for this fake party. You can easily find streamers and things. Not a lot of signs or things, but lots of colorful cloth and stuff. Someone even tries to sell you a table at one point, but I imagine you say no.
Yeah.
But there are
No. We've got
constantly-
boxes.
Especially like later in the day, as there are fewer people, there are more people. Like there are quite a few merchants that are just trying to get your attention as you go through.
Yeah. And I want to commit, so I want to get a blanket and some pillows.
All right, you all go about buying party supplies. Thicket, as you continue to listen, it comes a point where you hear the children. You catch a couple of names that you don't know who they are. You hear Carlos, Velvet, and Shiley. You hear the woman say them, which you also catch one of the children call her Miss Melissa at one point. Which I don't know if I already said her name or not, but now you definitely have it. Okay, well you definitely have her name. You hear fairly quiet, but poking in, arguing between Skur and the elf that seems to be Carlon. If we got a doubt, we shouldn't take it. We're going to try. Seem nice. And if things go wrong, we'll make sure we have an exit strategy. Fine with that? When I joined you, I didn't expect... Well, first I didn't expect we'd pick up children along the way. Nor did I expect to care about them. Fine. I'll trust you. Like I did then. Oh, I can't believe I let you talk me into all of this. Could have had a simple life. Could have just Axed. Could have been hung out in Delta or Coral. You could do your magic there. No thievery ever had to happen. And I both know we wouldn't have been able to get everything right if we didn't. Is there a difference, Oscar, between getting things right? I know it was a tough spot. But we can stop now. We don't have to do this anymore. Honestly, at this point, we could probably take the kids back to Coral. Get an actual house. I know. Talk about this tomorrow. After this party. For now, careful. I trust you to find an exit strategy. Right? Fine. Their side of the tent goes quiet for the next. As you wait, you end up hearing Melissa talk to the children about getting dressed for a party. The kids seem very happy at the sound of it. But that's effectively everything of interest you would get in your time there as a rat. Feel your wild shape begin to fade.
Okay.
With that perception, Doug, you would have been able to hear what they were talking about during the walk and bits and pieces of the hushed argument, but you wouldn't get as clear of a sound as the guitar.
All right, I will head back now.
You take a few minutes, and I'll go ahead and move us, say, to 6 o'clock as you find the others, as they seem to be waiting for everyone to leave the warehouse and begin prepping for this party.
Doug also goes back at
So,
Okay. Well, this kind of sucks because they're like flushed out actual people.
Was that Maury or Thicket?
Those more.
Oh, pity, I put y'all in a hard decision.
What? They're real people. What? Okay, well, obviously, Thicket relays all that he heard.
Can do so. Thicket tells you all about the story. Got most of the names. Don't know which child is which, but you know the woman's name is Melissa. Harland is the elf, and Oscar is the magician. The human.
so it seemed to you, Thicket, that they weren't their actual children, but somehow they've acquired them?
They weren't really specific on it, and I couldn't really ask.
Right, but no, you said that the one fellow said that when they started their journey, or when he picked them up, they picked him up, I guess, that he didn't expect kids would be involved, and let alone care for them. So that sounds like maybe they were orphans that they rescued, maybe.
Yeah.
But
I'm not super
it doesn't
sure.
sound like they're their children, like directly. All right. Well, here, help me lay out the palette. We're gonna set this up, and then we'll talk as we set it up. So I guess what we need
Thicket whispers
to do is we need to find out.
Cedar a birthday present.
I mean, we could just put money all together to pay for the milk canter
Wait,
thing.
what'd you
and then-
say? What are you talking about?
No, nothing. We're not talking to you right now. We're just talking to ourselves
Okay.
socially over here in the corner.
You say so.
Doug,
So,
why are you whispering?
come here. Come. And when Doug finally arrives, like, look, Thicket is thinking about the present for Cedar, so I thought maybe we just put money in to give to Cedar so that Cedar didn't have to have paid for the decanter
Wait,
in this milk.
why is Cedar getting a present?
Because we missed her
well, I mean,
birthday, and this is her
for her
birthday
birthday, so-
party.
So
I mean,
you give presents on birthdays?
Yeah.
yeah, that's the idea. Basically, you're celebrating that the person exists and that you're happy that they are around and that you get to know them and share their life.
I wish I
So,
had a birthday.
What's the first day that you remember? Maybe we can call that your birthday.
Well, I didn't really know what dates were.
When's the first time that you learned about the date? We can use that one.
Was
I
the
think
half empty?
I think it was sometime in November. I remember it being cold.
Which obviously there's some equivalent or whatever, but all right. Well,
No, it's November.
Think
I don't
about a
know
day
what
that means
RWBY
something to
does
you.
for dates,
Oh.
so
okay.
I don't know what Rooster Teeth decided to do for dates. I don't remember
We didn't
what they
decide
decided.
anything. I'm making this up.
So, yeah.
Right.
So I mean, like him saying there's an equivalent date. I don't remember what Rooster Teeth decided the show RWBY's calendar was. So this is the calendar now.
Yep.
Okay. All right, that's fine. All right. Well, yeah, you're welcome to pick a day, and then that's the day that we celebrate for you. You know, but yeah, Doug, if you know your birthday, we can absolutely include you in future festivities. But since we're only now just learning of Cedar's birthday, and it just all coincides together. Anyway, so here's my thoughts. I think for that Thicket, we just all chip in some money to give to her to say that she didn't have to purchase her decanter, and maybe if you come across something in like somewhere down the road and you just want to give her just because, then that could be another option and be like, hey, I didn't want it to just be money for your birthday, so here, this is something else I saw and I thought of you and I thought you'd like it, sort of thing. So, but anyway, I think at this point, what we want to do is we want to try to bring them into good standing in one way or another. Now, that might mean that they might have to relocate, but maybe it means they can work off some of their bad decisions. Maybe we can work out something with Rusty. But it sounds like they're wanting to have a change anyway. And if some sort of restitution can be made to offended parties, and if they could do some sort of volunteer working of some type, that might make the difference. I don't know. I would maybe leave that to Rusty, but anyway, I think that's our plan, and to only fight if they really truly wish to fight it out. I think at this point, turning them in is not the way to go. People change, so anyway, I'm open to suggestions or thoughts, whatever you have to say. It sounds like a much more challenging of a situation than I thought.
So, should we get Rusty to invite her people to this party? So it's a crowd, and then just inform Rusty, and then at the end, I guess have Rusty decide what to do.
That's a reasonable idea. Also, they may... I don't know. I really think that we need to get them... We need to effectively put them in that hard rock place situation.
So, I mean, well, if Rusty knows and everyone is in on it, then like people, could just get, I guess, pickpocketed, not thinking twice about it, and then they can all leave, hang out outside, just at Rusty's, call, just kind of make it seem normal. Perhaps, once they leave, they can kind of figure out what the escape plan possibly could be, and then corner, was his name Carlton? Carlton?
Carland?
Yeah. They could kind of corner him and then bring him into the mix after the party's over. But yeah, at least during the party, Rusty can observe and see, the kids in action as like proof that something's going on. And then I guess depending on how clean they come, it can be made.
Does anyone agree with that or have a different idea?
I can't think of any better idea. There's just a risk that if Rusty gets involved, that they will just go to jail.
I mean, they would only.
I know. I mean, Rusty hit us.
That's true.
Because we don't have to tell Rusty, what we've heard. We can just be like, hey, we think we have some suspicious characters.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could just keep an eye on them throughout the party, and then if Rusty doesn't see anything suspicious, then they're carefree and they've stopped whatever they're doing.
What if they recognize Rusty though, as a part of the authorities that is after them?
I mean, I'm sure Rusty can figure out how to go incognito. Or at least has people on some inside somewhere that can relay messages, so Rusty doesn't have to be there.
Okay. Well, if we're gonna get Rusty involved, we should probably do that pretty quickly.
All right. Well, I can hurry over to her building and see. How do you want me to present it to her?
Truth telling.
Yeah.
Just
probably giving her
we
probably just being honest to her, because I don't think she's someone that we need to hide a lot of our cards from, because she's very powerful.
And honestly, I feel like she has responded well to our desires previously.
Yeah.
Her, she sided with us, effectively against herself, for the person that betrayed her business, and her town. That's significant, at least a little. Well, that's what's only. Then I will be back shortly. Have fun finishing setting up the rest. Jackie, stay here, girl, and when the little ones come, entertain them. Lick their faces and put your paws up on them and everything. I think they'll love it. It'll be delightful. And Garan will hasten to Rusty's. She'll get a really good ear scratch.
As Garand heads out to go see Rusty, you all take a breath and continue setting up. We pan over as the light begins to fade as it closes in 7 o'clock. Hopefully, Garand will be back in time with whatever needs to happen, however that conversation goes. However this night goes for you all, for the Fairy Well Troop. As we follow Garand as he walks, camera pans shifting through alleys and walls. As getting ready in mismatched clothes, colorful but seemingly having picked them out themselves, poor children laughing as they enjoy the idea of a party. We hear the sound of a flute. Panning upward, standing on the edge of the closest building. The wind, which has been fairly brisk at this point, brushing through her reddish hair, her ears, twitching in the sky as the sun goes down. The sound of Melissa's flute blending over this area of the city. An elegant song. Evening begins. I believe that's where we're going to end the session.
Nice.
Well, we'll see, I guess. Maybe she overheard, maybe, who knows?
Well, I mean, she was in the tent before. But she's not near y'all. She's playing on
Okay.
on
Okay.
one of the roofs near.
I misheard your fade out, my bad.
You're good. No worries. Feel free to think of it however you want. Maybe that'll be more tense.
Everyone just became very silent.
Well, it happens. I'm glad this was a little slow at the start. But then it got emotional. It's great. I hope you'll enjoy your time. And wow. Jason said BRB, and I think she missed the outro. Well, we'll go ahead and say goodbye to YouTube. Leave that for later, and we can talk and hang out as much as here. Thanks for everyone who watched, playing, and we will see the internet next week. Bye.